The movie opens with a truck approaching a toll gate, where a team in hazmat suits is busy cleaning the area. The driver grows impatient, thinking he is being held up, but the workers assure him it's only routine maintenance following a minor incident at a nearby nuclear plant. As he passes through, his phone rings, causing him to swerve and accidentally hit a deer. Investigating briefly, he resumes his drive, unaware that the deer, though appearing injured, rises and shows signs of sickness. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Sok-woo is a high-powered fund manager whose demanding career leaves him with little time for his young daughter, Swan. His attempts at celebrating her birthday fall flat when he unwittingly gives her the same gift as last year. Swan, feeling neglected, asks to visit her mother in Busan. Hesitant at first due to work, Sok-woo's resolve softens when his mother shows him a video of Swan performing at school, an event he missed. Filled with regret, he promptly books seats on the next KTX train to Busan for the following morning. Early the next day, Sok-woo drives Swan to the station. On the way, he nearly collides with several emergency vehicles racing in the opposite direction. Swan notices smoke in the distance and points it out, alerting him to a massive fire consuming a building. Despite the alarming scene, Sok-woo presses on and boards the train with his daughter. The train is soon filled with a diverse group of passengers, including a tough businessman named Sang-hwa traveling with his pregnant wife, a high school baseball team, the wealthy yet erudite President Yeon-suk, two elderly sisters, and a mysterious homeless man who seems oddly aware of an impending threat. As the train prepares to depart, a young woman boards with a gruesome bite wound on her leg. Moments later, the station manager urges the train to leave as chaos erupts on the platform. Swan witnesses a frantic crowd, and through the window, she sees the manager being attacked by a frenzied individual. Terrified, she moves toward the restroom. Meanwhile, a train employee discovers the injured woman in one of the lower cars. Attempting to help, she quickly realizes the woman has already transformed into a monstrous creature. The new zombie attacks, causing panic as it collides with members of the baseball team, turning several of them into zombies themselves. Only 4 students manage to escape: Yeon-guk, his girlfriend Jin-hee, and 2 unnamed teammates. The infection spreads rapidly through the upper cars, and Swan, still searching for the restroom, unknowingly walks into the lower cars. Sok-woo awakens to find his daughter missing and hears that violent outbreaks have erupted across Korea. Panic spreads as terrified passengers from the lower cars flee upward. Fearing for Swan's safety, Sok-woo rushes to find her, discovering her cornered by approaching zombies. He grabs her just in time, and together they retreat to a compartment, where the remaining survivors attempt to barricade the doors. Realizing the zombies cannot figure out how to open doors, they prepare to defend themselves. Seung-kyung, Sang-hwa's wife, covers the windows with water and paper, hoping to hide from the relentless attackers outside. Over the train's radio, the conductor announces that the journey to Busan has been cancelled. Instead, the train will stop at Daegu Station, where military personnel have established a quarantine zone. Hearing this, President Yeon-suk makes a call to his associates to gather more information about the situation at Daegu. Sok-woo, listening in, quickly realizes that all passengers arriving at the station will be forcibly quarantined. Thinking fast, he instructs a colleague to pick him and Swan up separately, ensuring they won't be locked away. When the train arrives at the deserted Daegu station, Sok-woo leads Swan toward a side exit, while other passengers head for the main gate. Unbeknownst to him, the homeless man begins to tail them. Walking down the concourse, they spot a soldier in distress. Sok-woo instructs Swan to stay put and rushes to assist, only to find the soldier badly wounded. Before they can help, a horde of infected soldiers rounds the corner, trampling and devouring the man. Meanwhile, the other survivors emerge through the main exit, only to encounter a mass of uniformed soldiers who are already infected, proving the military's containment efforts have failed. Panic erupts as people try to flee back into the station, but some are caught and turned into zombies. Inside, Sok-woo tells Swan to run, and she races into the arms of Seung-kyung and Sang-hwa, who are retreating toward the train with others. Seung-kyung grabs Swan and heads for the platform, while Sang-hwa, Sok-woo, Yeon-guk, and the remaining baseball players fight off the advancing horde. After barricading the platform exit, they dash for the train. As the survivors board, a glass roof above shatters, sending zombies spilling onto the platform. One of them falls between In-gil and Jeon-gil, sparking a struggle between the sisters. Jeon-gil is dragged against her will into Jin-hee's compartment, where she watches as In-gil, Seung-kyung, and Swan escape. Seung-kyung, Swan, In-gil, and the homeless man lock themselves inside a restroom in one of the lower, infected cars, while Yeon-guk, Sok-woo, and Sang Hua reach a secure compartment. Sang Hua contacts his wife, learning that she and others are trapped in the restroom. Determined not to leave them behind, the three fight their way through the lower cars, using the fact that zombies cannot locate prey in darkness, only moving when they hear sound. They successfully rescue everyone and head toward the main compartment, where Yan Suk, Jin Hee, John Gil, and the conductor are waiting. Yan Guk sends Jin Hee a message, telling her the rescued survivors are on their way. Joyful at the news, she and the others barricade their compartment to prevent the horde from breaking in. Yan Guk tries to unlock the door while Sok Woo and Sang Hua struggle to hold the zombies at bay. Realizing there isn't enough time, Sang Hua tells Sok Woo to take his wife and protect them, choosing to stay behind and delay the creatures. Cheerfully, Sok Woo obeys, pulling Swan and Son Kyung toward the safety of the blocked compartment. Just before he is overtaken, Sang Hua shares the name he has chosen for their unborn child. The survivors squeeze into a secure compartment after the train doors are shut, but a second inner door presents another danger. Gil is too slow to get through and is tragically devoured by the horde. Sok Woo, realizing that both Sang Hua and Gil might have survived if the group hadn't blocked the door, lashes out in frustration and punches Yan Suk, demanding to know why he acted so selfishly. Yan Suk, cunning as ever, lies to the others, claiming that Sok Woo and his friends are infected. Using this deceit, he frightens the original door blockers into forcing Sok Woo, Jin Hee, and the newest survivors into the corridor between the cars. Once they are out, Yan Suk and the others tie the door handle with clothing to prevent them from returning. John Gil, paralyzed with grief at seeing her sister Gil killed unnecessarily, finally sees her sister's lifeless body among the zombies outside the window. She mourns the loss, blaming the compartment group for Gil's death. In a surge of anger and despair, John Gil opens the door, allowing the zombies to flee the once protected compartment. From the hallway, the remaining survivors watch in horror as the people inside are devoured, and shadows flail desperately at the door they had just locked. Meanwhile, the infection has been contained in Busan, a fact the conductor discovers over the radio. But as the train approaches a station just outside the city, debris on the tracks brings it to a halt. Over the speaker, the conductor instructs the remaining survivors to follow him on foot to an open track, promising he will guide them to safety. He jumps from his cabin and clears a path, eventually starting up a nearby freight train to continue toward Busan while searching for any survivors. Sok Woo and the others disembark, unaware that Yan Suk had survived by hiding in a restroom. Hearing the conductor's announcement, he sneaks out of the compartment but is pursued by zombies. The group advances toward the freight train, but chaos erupts as a runaway cargo vehicle barrels toward them. Jin Hee and Yan Guk become separated when the truck collides with nearby train cars, blocking their path. They scramble onto the next car, attempting to cross to safety, not noticing that Yan Suk, still being chased, is following them. In a cruel move, he grabs Jin Hee, throwing her into the path of a pursuing zombie. Yan Guk defends her but is powerless to stop the attack, and in a heart-wrenching moment, Jin Hee turns and fatally bites him. Yan Suk continues toward the freight train, injuring his leg on the tracks and being bitten by a pursuing zombie. The conductor leaps to help, but Yan Suk betrays him, tossing him to the undead just as he had done to Jin Hee. Ignoring the conductor's cries, Yan Suk boards the freight train alone, leaving destruction and despair in his wake. On the other side of the chaos, the homeless man, Swan, Sok Woo, and Sun Kyun find themselves trapped beneath a train teeming with zombies. The windows above look dangerously unstable. Sok Woo spots an opening beneath the train and slips through, but before the others can follow, part of the train collapses, blocking the passage and sending a few zombies tumbling toward them. Acting quickly, the homeless man distracts the creatures, sacrificing himself so Sok Woo can clear the debris and allow Swan and Sun Kyun to escape. They sprint toward the freight train, clinging to its side for safety. Sok Woo approaches the train's cockpit, only to freeze when he sees Yan Suk sitting in the driver's seat. Yan Suk's eyes are glazed, and he appears ill, but he is not yet fully transformed. Despite the infection, he opens the door and pleads with Sok Woo to take him back to Busan, even mentioning his address and his mother's name. Sok Woo warns him that he is infected, momentarily startling Yan Suk. But in moments, the infection overtakes him completely, and he becomes a full zombie. A desperate struggle ensues. Sok Woo fights Yan Suk on the edge of the train, nearly falling off as the zombie lunges toward Swan and Sun Kyung. He manages to push Yan Suk off, sustaining a severe bite on his hand. Realizing the infection is spreading within him, Sok Woo places Swan and Sun Kyun safely in the cockpit and instructs them on how to use the brakes when they reach Busan Station. Swan pleads with him to stay, tearfully revealing that she had held back her song during a school performance just for him. They share a heartfelt farewell, Sok-woo holding her small hands one last time before stepping away from the cockpit. As the infection takes hold, Sok-woo clings to the edge of the train, crying as he walks toward the end of the car. Inside the cockpit, Swan sobs while Seung-kyung tries to comfort her. Sok-woo reflects on memories of Swan as a child, remembering the joy of holding her tiny fingers and toes. His body succumbs to the infection, his eyes turning white and veins darkening. Even as he becomes a zombie, he smiles faintly at the sky before collapsing onto the tracks. It is left ambiguous whether his fall is due to the disease or a final act of sacrifice to protect Swan and Seung-kyung. The train finally reaches the corridor leading to Pusan Station, but debris blocks the tracks. Swan and Seung-kyung exit and begin making their way down the path, unaware that soldiers are observing from the other side. A sniper prepares to fire, uncertain if they are infected. Just in time, Swan begins singing Salam Away in a trembling voice, alerting the soldiers that they are not contagious. Recognizing the familiar tune, the troops quickly move in to help, allowing the two to reach safety.